So some of you may or may not be aware, but I am going through kind of a dive into Skillshare this summer with my beautiful amount of free time. And my plan has been to take a bunch of Skillshare courses and look at them through my point of view. I am a teacher and an artist, so I do have a little bit of a point of view on this kind of stuff. And I'm going to explore Skillshare and see what I can learn myself and kind of judge how useful it is in general. At this point, I've gone through about 5 different classes, but specifically there's one class that I have started, and that is Jazza's, as in Draw with Jazza, from Josiah Brooks. He has a how to talk to camera class, and I don't ever talk to camera, so consider this my face reveal, or something like that. Anyway, so I've been giving some homework, and that's one of the things that's kind of fun about Skillshare that I have noticed with the good courses is they assign you projects and things to do, and you're able to post them on Skillshare and have other people comment, review, hopefully the actual teacher themselves comment and review on your content. So the assignment that Jazza gave his students is to create a video talking to the camera and describing how to make a sandwich. Now, the how to make a sandwich metaphor is one that's been around for a long time. It's generally something teachers have used over time to help teach procedural texts in English classes. And procedural texts are the texts where you're like, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this, so on and so forth. So, the thing about the making the sandwich metaphor that's always been really amusing to teachers and kind of the bane of the existence to students is when you got a bit of a troll lord teacher who decided that they're going to make you learn the steps for something like this the hard way. So generally the teacher would get out the spread and you would have your bread, your peanut butter, and your jelly, and the teacher would put it out on a table and ask the class of 3rd graders, or whichever class you're learning this in, how do I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And the kids would say stuff like, oh, put the jelly on the bread, put the peanut butter on the bread. And the teacher, being a troll, would pick up the jar of jelly and pick up the jar of peanut butter and place them on top of the loaf of bread still in the package. And this is just kind of demonstrates to kids that you need to do step by step by step. Developmentally, at the age where generally you learn procedural texts, the concept that everything takes very specific steps and people might not know every step is a little difficult because there's this assumption of knowledge that people go through. And if you don't learn to not assume, you're going to keep assuming. That's where the phrase assuming makes it out of you and me. Get it? Assume. Anyway, so Mr. Jazza has assigned me to talk about my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That is my recording setup and how I go about recording. So let's talk about that. So here is a terrible script that I wrote. And I did not follow it all, but I made it, and it helped align things a little bit. But I didn't follow it. The first layer of Jazza's sandwich is kind of your pre-planning, pre-production stuff. So I wrote a script, I made myself pretty, I moved my camera various places around my office to find the most appealing way to look at it and the most appealing direction. And I moved a lot of things around. And that was my pre-production, my bread. Generally in my videos, I do art drawing content where I set my camera facing down at a drawing, and I'm not doing that right now. So I had to kind of reimagine how to set this up. I am an artist. I have various art supplies and, art things. So if the pre-production is the first layer of bread, and what you're doing, in my case is art, is the inside of the bread and the jelly and all the tasty stuff, then the last piece of bread and what closes your sandwich would be your post-production. You can see my computer. So for post-production, I use a program called Audacity for my audio. It's free and it's beautiful and it does a lot of good. And for post-production also, I use Moavi Video Editor 15 plus. It's just because it updates regularly. And I like it for editing because it's consistently updates with new material and new things to look at. So that's nice and fun. It's loading. See? Loading.
8 hours later.
So it's not going to load right now. And you know, you've got your area for your music, and you've got area for your video, and you can upload stuff, and there's all kinds of beautiful little backgrounds and doohickeys. So it's nice. I like it. I don't feel like I did a very good sandwich, but here is my sandwich. Here's my face. Here's an example of talking to the camera, and I'm going to mix this in with other parts of the video. Cool. Bye. I want to thank you guys for coming and watching my little video here. I hope to get out more information about Skillshare and some of the other classes that I have done as time goes on. But since this one was specifically a piece of homework, I'm going to post this one first before I talk a little bit about my first week on Skillshare. There we go. So some of you may or may not know that I'm going through a Skillshare deep dive right now, and my plan is to forget to do audio recording. There's so many steps to this. Hello. I must have unplugged it. One of the funny things about the making a sandwich making the sandwich metaphor. Generally, thank you, and no, too much. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye.